Okie dokie. In this problem, they say find the inverse function of f of x equals 4 minus 2x. So the process is this. I'm going to, instead of f of x, use y. Go back to the basics, right? So I will say that y is equal to 4 minus 2x. Now, there we have it as y equals, instead of f of x equals, we are going to swap x and y. Swapping x and y will give us x equals 4 minus 2y. So once we swap x and y, our goal is to solve for y. Solve for this y now. Get y by itself on the right side of the equation. Once we have y by itself, whatever's on the opposite side of the equation will be our inverse function. So let's solve for y. To solve for y, let's get rid of the thing that's furthest away from it. That's the 4. Let's subtract 4 on both sides. We will get x minus 4 equals negative 2y because these 4's have canceled. And to get y by itself, we divide by negative 2. So we get y equals x minus 4 divided by negative 2. And now it's just a matter of how they've written it. So this is our inverse function. So we can go ahead and write it as f to the negative 1 of x. Now it's just a matter of how they have written it here. So I think I see the answer. Let's talk about what they've done. So I guess you can see that none of the answers are divided by negative 2. So really what they've done is, I suppose, pull this negative out in front, like so. But when it's out in front, it's important to recognize that, like, it could possibly get distributed to the numerator here. They can kind of just throw that negative to any other part of the fraction that they want to, just to kind of mess with you. So they have distributed it to the numerator. So if they have a negative distributed to an x minus 4, you get negative x plus 4. And now it's over positive 2. So if we rewrite this, just flip-flop in the top terms, 4 minus x over 2 is our final answer. That's option C. Break out the eraser, and we're done. Okay, that's a little practice on finding inverse functions. Let's do it again. First step, call the f of x y to make it easier on yourself. Swap x and y to get x equals 8 minus 8y. Now we solve for y. We subtract the 8 to get x minus 8 equals negative 8y. We divide by negative 8 to get y by itself, and that is our inverse function. So f to the negative 1 of x equals x minus 8 over negative 8. I'm assuming we're probably going to do the same thing for this one, unless they think they've just, oh, they're so evil. They just do it differently every time. Okay, well, let's go ahead and start with, I suppose, trying what we did in the last one, and that was take the negative away from the denominator, put it out in front, and then I guess you might as well go ahead and distribute it here and here. So we'll get negative x plus 8, because the negative s distributed to that negative 8, right? And then it's over 8. And so if we see this answer, we're done. Oh, you know what? We might actually see this answer. Wait, we might be okay. Hold up. I was thinking it was another answer real quick. Oh, no, it's not. I think we're all right. I think we might be safe. So if we swap these two top terms, we get 8 minus x over 8, and that's option D. Okay, so maybe there's a pattern here. Let's do one more. We got a glimpse of the answer. Let's talk about where that might have come from. Y equals negative 2x minus 7. We swap x and y. Now solve for y by adding 7 and then dividing by negative 2. We get y is equal to x plus 7 over negative 2, or f to the negative 1 of x, or the inverse of f, is equal to x plus 7 over negative 2. Obviously, none of the answers are, none of them have division by negative 2, so we're going to put that negative out in front, and then might as well go ahead and distribute it to these two values here. These two terms, we get negative x minus 7 all over 2. Is that an option? Not quite. There's a very close answer. Hopefully, if you just looked for the negative x minus 7, it would tell you to lean towards C, and then just try to justify that if you're dividing by 2, that's the same as multiplying by a 1/2. So multiplying by 1/2 is the same as dividing by 2, which leads us to option C as our answer. All right. Hope that's not too bad. Hopefully just running through a few of those, you kind of get the hang of it. It seems like they have kind of a similar solution path every time, and hopefully that'll be enough to identify your answers. Hope that makes sense. That was a little insight on finding inverse functions. All right.